This week, permit parking may be on its way to Hyde Park, and Mac Properties is taking heat from some locals for a decision to demolish historic buildings. First up, though, more pressure is coming from the neighborhood to change the way standardized tests are used. Ray School's LSC is the latest to fall in line with More Than a Score. That's a group opposing the state ISAT test, among other things. The committee passed the resolution based on the Chicago group's template at its March meeting. Of course, it's still uncertain whether this movement will change anything.
This group, More Than a Score, is definitely raising awareness, and they're also trying to affect the policy. So definitely more voices mean more weight.
Other Hyde Park groups to pass resolutions include Murray Elementary School's local school council and the University of Chicago Lab School Faculty Association. One reason for the support might be parent involvement.
We have very active parents. One thing that you won't see in most neighborhoods, even if you go as close as Bronzeville or Woodlawn, is the number of very active parents in this community. So they're involved in their LSC, they're heavily involved in their parent-teacher organizations.
The 5400 block of South Shore Drive may be the first in Hyde Park to introduce permit parking. Some of its residents have signed a petition saying they want to keep anyone who doesn't live on the block from parking there between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. That would last from May to October.
A lot of the residents argue that if there is permit parking, then the only people who would be in Jackson Park after hours, when the park is closed, or people who are parking on that street would be people who live on that street, and thus lower the potential for crime.
The alderman for that block, Leslie Hairston, says permit parking won't prevent crime. She says it won't solve the parking problem for that matter. But getting signatures from 65% of the residents on the block will send the petition to city council. Organizers almost have their votes. They just need to get some of the new residents of the Shoreland to sign before they can meet that threshold. Mac Properties is taking flak from some Hyde Parkers after decision to demolish 3 1892 townhouses on Harper Avenue. With only a part of one of the Greystones still standing on Wednesday, they call it a disregard for the neighborhood's history.
They were interesting, historic, invaluable buildings that could not be ever replaced in this day and age, for one. For two, the number of interesting things that could have been there as an attraction to draw people to that area.
Mac will use the property as a metered parking lot for its planned City Hyde Park high-rise. Mac says it simply couldn't find a way to make restoring the Greystones profitable. The company was lauded for a recent restoration of Hyde Park's Shoreland Hotel, even receiving an award from the Hyde Park Historical Society. From Hyde Park's calendar, the Hyde Park Community Players will put on a traditional production of Romeo and Juliet over 3 weekends this month.
This spring we are 5 years old. We're ready to do Shakespeare, and we just would like the community to come and see good theater and celebrate our 5 years with us.
The show runs on Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30, with matinees at 3 on Sundays. Tickets are on sale at What the Traveler Saw on 55th Street. Log on to hydeparkcommunityplayers.org for details. The Hyde Park Herald has been following the story of a neighborhood permission graffiti wall's demolition. You can see photos of the wall through the years on the front page of our website. Look for the Graffiti Museum button. That's the news for this week. For the Hyde Park Herald, I'm Andrew Holtzman.